Today I know I left it kind of open-ended last month when I said what's new or what's coming this month. I worked on recruiting some other departments. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it done for this month, but I do have some scheduled for next month. So you will see resident services. You'll also see probably development and nursing. So working on recruiting some other departments just to give you a behind the scenes look at what they do and how their departments operate. Not a sales pitch or anything like that. Just I think it's important for everyone to know how the back end of all the departments work. So hopefully next November and December, I'm going to take a hiatus and just kind of step back, and we can get other departments to come in. So today, our topics are going to be around IT services. The first thing I'll do is I'll introduce the two IT people that we have, the support staff that we have here. I'll also go over the structure, what IT looks like, how we're structured. I'll go over what type of services we provide from IT, how we get support as a company, and also how we support you. I'll go over work requests and how to put those in for IT support, and then we'll do the Q&A and future topics. So let's get started. Last month, to be honest with you, I couldn't remember if I had left anything open-ended, so that was a pretty good sign to me that I didn't. If I did, please ask. But just an update. As you all noticed, we started doing the front or the street-facing side of the duplexes. So that happened throughout the last 4 weeks, and we are getting ready to start driveways. We'll do the same thing with the driveways. We'll send out that call on a Monday, notify you what's going to happen that week. And driveways are pretty simple. We just need you to make sure there's not a vehicle in the driveway. One thing you need to remember, I was kind of ahead on my thinking here. We will not be doing the sidewalks in front of the duplex. We are strictly doing the driveway. So I'm asking all the residents out there not to ask the people doing your driveway to extend it into the front of the duplex to that sidewalk there. We will get back. We're trying to catch up on everything, get all the power washing done. So this round, we're taking care of the driveways. Probably when we start back up in the early spring of next year, we'll start focusing in on the other three sides of your unit, and then we'll do the sidewalk in front then. Okay? Did I leave anything out there? Any questions right now before I get into IT and its support? Yes. Right, that under your covered area, that sidewalk, that your entrance, right in front, below your window where your front door is, the approach, your front porch, yes. There you go, your front sidewalk, your front porch, your front porches, and the sidewalk that goes around to the back door. We're just staying right within the driveways this round, okay, so we can get through them. Okay, with that, no questions there. IT support structure, this is how our department is structured. We have a supervisor, which is managed by Corey, and we have 2 members. Those 2 members are Josh and Ben. Ben, you want to step out? Josh Skoltak and Ben Heisman. You've probably seen them around walking the hallways. At one point, they all worked in maintenance. We are aggressively working to transition them out of maintenance. They still assist us there, but we're finding the need and the importance of having them available all the time, not doing sinks, toilets, and things like that. So we are looking at restructuring the department so we can create our own internal department for IT services. So Josh handles a lot of the back-end stuff. Some of the things I'm going to show you today from all of our switches and all of our back-end programs. And Ben, he's out with you a lot. You'll see him out there. If you request something, you'll see him there. Okay, thank you. I have one other person that does help us out, and I would be wrong for not recognizing him. That is Dale Good. I see him sitting over here. He does support us. He does help us. And he helps you. He's helping us with Touchtown, getting that program and managing it with Dawn. And I can't leave him out. And I don't just say that because he's sitting there. I say that he is on my notes to make sure we recognize what he does. So we do appreciate that deal. Okay. IT, how do we support you? How do we support the residents here at Londonderry Village? What we can and the services we offer you is computer and laptop service. We can do mobile phones. We get a lot of mobile phones. You get that new device from Apple, all the different units that are out there. We can work on them all. We can help you with them. We can assist you with getting them all programmed and uploaded. We also work on iPads and notebooks. We're familiar with all the different types of notebooks and the iPads that are out there. Email setup, this is a big one. We get this a lot. People have trouble with their emails. We'll come out and we'll assist you with emails. TV and electronic setups. Get a new television or you get a new device, you're not sure how to use it, we'll come out, we'll assist you with it. Alexa and Google Nest, this is what we're seeing starting to come in to the campus. We're seeing the Alexas and the Googles. Nest, so we'll help you with those. Software setup, we'll come out if you have any software issues, we'll do the basic setup for that or assist you with it if you're having problems with it. We'll also help you with your printers and scanners. Printers are a popular one. We get a lot of calls on printers. And smart devices. Anything I didn't cover up above, we'll come out and take a look at it and service it for you or help you get it programmed or help you get it started up. Are there any questions around that? It's going to be short today. Yes, and I'll get in for their service. Yes, there is a charge for their services, and you'll see that we do it we can do it all the way down to a 15-minute increment. So we don't just charge you a bulk hour for anything. There we go. What do they do for Londonderry Village? How do they keep everything operating and working here on campus? They manage our TV, our phone, our internet. Those residents who have our internal systems, they're the ones who make it happen. What you see there on the top right is you see there's one dish that services all of this campus, and then you see all that large rack over there, which are all the TV modules that service each one of those channels that you receive inside of your unit. So they're the ones who manage that. If you think about it, if you are on our TV system and you see that blue screen where it's the bouncing satellite service is bouncing around the screen, that is because there's a dispute between the channel or whoever, Discover, Fox, whoever that is, with the provider. You'll see that bounce around. This is why that happens, because there's only one satellite for all of the campus. If we had two, it wouldn't change it, but that's how the signal comes into the campus. And then we then take it to channel modulators, we modulate it down, and we send it out to everyone. They also manage the life safety system, those pendants, pull stations that you have and you wear. They manage that program. They manage that system. So if something fails, they're the two gentlemen who work on that here at the campus. They assist the MSP, the managed service provider, which is Crossroads. They are our IT specialists, so they work directly with them. If there's something that needs to be handled here on site, I'd say 75% of the time, they're the ones who are doing the site work through Crossroads. Crossroads can remote in and handle everything they need to do from a remote, and I think they're out of Reading in that area. Equipment troubleshooting, service and replacement. You see some equipment down here. You see our camera system over here to the left with the big blue X on it. And you also see our network system, one of our network systems that helps keep everything running and going from our in-house system and also those systems that we provide to you. So they manage these two systems. These are one of many racks that are on the campus and floating around in all these utility rooms. And your access control. They're the ones who make sure that these doors and everything's working properly. They do the programming, they do the repairs to any of your badges, anything needed there. That is a software program that we use for access controls, and they're the ones who manage that. Any questions there? Yes, ma'am.
When I came here 6 years ago, once a year they came around and checked our cameras.
Uh-huh.
Just recently, I heard of 2 residents who did not know their pendants were not working, and they had a problem with it. Hasn't somebody checked it somewhere to make sure they're working for you residents?
Yes, and we had just, she's asking a few, when she first moved here, we would go around and check a pendant on an annual basis when we were doing our annual cleanings or our annual maintenance. They would actually check the device. Since that, we've upgraded the system. The system it checks itself, it services itself. So that's why you don't see us out as frequently as we had in the past. But recently, they did do a software visit, and we did go around and check all the software update. And we did go around and check all of those devices to make sure that information was being transmitted to the host end. That would be surprising. I'll follow up with them on that, just after we're done, and let me know. Everyone should have had their unit checked. If we were upgrading our device, they would have upgraded it then. But the system actually checks your battery on a daily basis. It's saying that the host system sends out a signal to your pendant or to your pool station, and then that signal comes back, says, I'm okay, or my battery level is low. That was the issue. That was an issue with the software. It wasn't giving us that information. That's what prompted us to go out and check everything. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the pendant. Why isn't that button recessed? So that if you're wearing a pendant and you lean against something, you're not going to activate that button. If it were recessed just a little bit. Makes no sense to me. Why that doesn't happen?
It's on the manufacturer side. Why it's hard. That's a hard one for me to answer. I think.
People don't wear them because they're always leaning against something and activating them.
I would encourage everyone. We don't mind getting the accidental pendant alerts. We don't mind getting them. I'd encourage everybody to wear them. Make sure they are wearing their pendants in their houses. But that's at the manufacturer's level. Those are the devices that work and operate with our system. Well, can't make that change, unfortunately. But we don't mind getting them. That's what security is here for. Any other questions?
I'm just wondering why every time it rains, we lose our TV service.
Hey, pictorial. See that little disc on top? And she said she's wondering why every time it rains. You were on the mic. Why we lose or do we get signal interruption? It is truly because of that one dish that manages all of this system. Pardon? Yes, put an umbrella over it. Yeah, what happens is if it does rain hard enough, it will sheet down and it will interfere with that satellite. And that's what causes the signal interruption when you see the signal go off and come back. And it's usually during a rainstorm or a heavy thunderstorm when that 5 or 10 minutes that you get that torrential rain coming down that's going to interrupt that dish. And wind. Wind can do it too. Winds can do it too. If that dish is up there moving or jumping around, it jumps off the satellite. And it is channel specific. So if it does go out, it will come back. But if there is another channel, an alternate channel within our system, you can view. It all depends on what satellite you're on or what satellite's being affected. And there's several satellites that this receives off of. Yes, all of she asked that I say that the doors and our door automation system and our security system, is that what you're referring to?
100 Cottage Drive has been open for a couple of weeks, and now I have to use my ID to get through with my scooter.
Mm-hmm.
But if I
I don't know why. Ben's looking at me, and I'm not sure he's aware of that either. So we will check it out and see why that magnetic device is not working. And there is a magnetic hold on that door that keeps it secured, which should keep it secured, and you'd have to use your badge to get in. Okay. Yep. Came in and pulled it. We'll take a look at it. We'll see why it's not secured.
The question I have is the idea of the umbrella over that. Can a satellite or signal get through something
No.
over the top of that?
Yes, and that is if we put anything in front of that dish or over that dish, it would impede the signal going to, just like the sheet of rain does. It would work the same way. It would block that signal coming from the satellites. Any other questions around this? Access control, we are working on improving that, updating the system, so getting more locks out to residents. We're also looking at the next few years doing a rekeying of campus, which would, we are working to be able to provide that same type of access with your badge through that door into your buildings, that same access into your unit. So you would have the key access still, but you would be able to use your badge to access your actual apartment. So we are looking at a major rekeying project over the next few years.
I had heard something to the effect that at a point, we would be able to add some different channels than what we have. I know we've lost a couple of channels that have gone out of business. Is there anything in the near future to add new channels in those empty spots?
Yes. And that prompts me to write down, to reach out to Dawn, because usually how we handle that is we send out a survey, and we haven't done that for about 3-4 years to see what channels are popular, what channels are not. We usually ask that you give us your top 5, and then we work off of those lists. So I'm going to make sure I have that discussion with Dawn. So if everybody's in agreement, I think it would be pretty good to get out to the community and see what's popular. So. Hey, did I see another hand start to go up? No. Okay. Support fees. Standard maintenance fees it's right in line with everything we do. It's $50 to $8 per hour, charged at 15-minute increments. So they're the fees that are charged for the services that I was referring to a few slides ago. The statement here, charges do not apply to work needed on LV equipment or issues impacted by LV equipment. What that means is if your modem fails, we're going to replace your modem. If that modem, your system needs to be reprogrammed because you've got a new modem, we're going to reprogram your computer or your devices for you. So if you have a failure or something happens inside of your unit with our equipment, we're going to make sure we get you running 100%. So there would be no charge for that type of service. Any questions on that end? This also, if you look at, this also includes, and I want to, just a small caveat here on this, is when we talk about remotes and TV remotes and batteries, okay, from a budgetary standpoint, batteries are very, very costly for a department, for us. We buy them in bulk. So as we are out and about helping you out with your televisions, that few minutes. And if you have a remote problems, most of the time we're going to come in and we're going to get it solved for you real quick. But if it does need a battery replacement, there will be a charge for those batteries. Batteries, the cost of batteries is starting to skyrocket quite a bit. And we do need to make sure that we are putting that charge over to you, to the residents that are doing that, because we're seeing a lot of batteries move out of the department, for that type of service. I can assure you that our batteries are a lot cheaper than what you're going to get anywhere else. We buy them in bulk, and we get them we get hundreds of them at a time. Future improvements. Where is IT going? What are some of the things that we're doing or looking forward to in the next few years? LB, phones and LB phone service in the duplexes. Okay, this is something for many, many years that residents coming in, moving in to our duplexes, or existing residents in our duplexes have asked, can I get your service here on campus? We are in the process of beta testing some devices, and we've had a lot of success with them. When I say beta testing, we have them out. Residents are using them. They are trying them out, and it's working very, very well. So we are hoping that in the very, very near future, we will be able to provide telephone service in all the duplexes and cottages. And that is big for campus. We do when the bills start to come up or a new resident comes in and they want to get on our service, they see the cost of our service, they do ask. So we are excited about this one. You need two things for that service. You need to have a modem inside your duplex. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be Verizon, Comcast, or it could be ours. Or they all work on that. Okay? So we will be able to provide it. What we cannot do with that is we can't what we call port your number. Porting your number is taking your existing phone number, which is a Verizon number, and porting that over to our system. Okay, so you would get a whole new number. So for that you would need to make sure you get out to everyone.
Are you talking about cell phones?
No, I'm talking about a landline. I'm talking about a landline. He said, are we talking about cell phones? And no, I'm talking about a landline.
Will they then be able to dial anywhere on campus with 4 digits?
Yes. Yep, because you're on our system. We purchase a block of phone numbers, and we are using, what do you think, Corey, 2/3 of them, maybe? Yeah. Two-thirds. So we buy a block of numbers, and that's how we manage the phone systems internally for the residents who can get them today through that block. And you would get if you were to take our service in a duplex, you would get that number. You just need to let everyone know the change in number, and you can have our service. Yes, ma'am.
So when I visit people, I can tell them they don't have to call Londonderry Village, they can just push the four-digit number now?
If they have our system, yes. If they have it, correct, Corey? If you have our system, all you have to do is push that 4-digit number, and it'll go to, you can call anybody internally on our system. That also includes the duplexes in the future if they bring on our service. Verizon service update. Verizon approached us many, many months ago and said we want to bring in Fios and have the capability, offer that capability to your residents. They were here. Well, Verizon wasn't here. They sent the boring company in and bored in all the conduits needed on campus. And that's where it's at. I've contacted Verizon to see if there is any status when they're coming in to start pulling the fiber. There is no fiber inside of those lines. It is just a bare conduit that's underground. So what Verizon has to do is come in, pull all their wires, and then put all their devices in at their pedestals and everything in those green boxes. They need to put their equipment in. So I don't have a date for that. Just like the boring, they said, yeah, okay, we'll give you a date when they come in, and next thing you know, they showed up and they were here, and I think that's going to be the same thing with Verizon, that they're just going to be here to start installing.
If you have Comcast, Wi-Fi, and phone, how will that affect your system if you go over to the new phone system?
Okay, you could bring on the new phone. You could keep your Comcast Wi-Fi if you choose to, and we would tie our phone number into that. We would link on. It's a small module that would hook onto that modem, which would give you the phone capability inside the unit. So you can keep them both. You can keep one or the other. You can take. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So if you have a triple play, you know they usually have a term limit on them. Yeah, a year or two. So if you find that it is starting to increase, I have to add this. If you are a Philadelphia sports fan, we cannot get Philly sports on our system. So that is one of the areas that's an area of leverage that Comcast has here on campus, is the Philly sports. So we just our sports packages come out of Baltimore, because we're in a Baltimore region. So that's the Dish Network who provides us. That's the reason for them. So I heard a boo on the other side of the room. So she said she's a Browns fan and does not like the Ravens. That's for sure. So. But we cannot get Philly sports on our house channels. So that's the Verizon update. FYI, the Cafe computers. We have taken the capability of saving documents or information to those computers away. The reasoning for that is when we did an audit on those devices, we realized that there was some personal information on there that I don't believe the users realized was there, that shouldn't be there. Where they're working with a document, and they save it, and it goes in the cache and is saved there. It's still there. So we made the decision collectively at our IT meeting last week to take that saving ability away. We did store those documents. I have it on a thumb drive in my office, that if someone had used those computers and there is some information they may have had stored there and they need it, it's in my office on a thumb drive. So it is safe, it's secure, it's there, but we did take that feature away from those computers because there was some really personal information in there that you have a risk of somebody getting, and it's better to eliminate the risk. Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that when I was in there the last time. However, having known that there was personal information on there, when I saw the icon come up, which I did not expect to see on the main screen, I was trying to delete it. And I did what I should do to delete it. And it said, file unknown or words
Yeah.
to that effect.
Yeah.
So then I was a little confused because why did that icon show up if it was not being saved?
Yeah, we did this on Thursday, was it, Ben? I think it was Thursday afternoon. It was one of those things, I knew this was coming up and I knew I was going to have it on my agenda. And we said, the risk is there, let's just eliminate it right now.
Which is great.
What that means for your passwords is that it's not going to save those passwords either. So unfortunately, when you do log on to the computer and you go on to AOL or Yahoo or something like that, you are going to have to you lose the convenience of auto-populating into those areas. So you will need to put your login and password in to the system each time you log in. Oops, sorry, I hit the button. There we go. IT service relocation. They were spread out. We had 2 locations. Ben was kind of working in an area in PC, and Josh, he was at you see his gray vehicle out there out at the end of Leffler Care. He was in the host room, that room where you saw all those racks and everything, that picture you saw all those racks. He was in there. So we decided to relocate them, bring them together more because they do work so closely together, into the old wood shop, which was prior to that was the old adult or the old daycare that we had, not adult daycare, but old daycare that we had here on campus. That is at the end of personal care. That's where they are at now. We are working to get them reestablished in that location with the intention of having enough square footage to, if a resident was having an issue with a tablet, instead of us coming out there, they come down and they'll have room for seating. They can sit down and go over the tablet with them. They go over the device with them and everything. So to do some type of work with that in that manner. So they are relocating. They have exterior access now where the old woodshop door was, is where they enter in and out of, and that's where the residents can go. Yes.
Will you be providing another location for PC and wood and furniture barn storage then?
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that. Yeah, that's a hard thing. Millie asked if we would provide another location for yard sale and PC storage for them. We're working. We have to come up with a solution. The space was needed. I don't know that. I don't have the answer to that, Millie, right now. So we'll work something out with it. We did notice a lot of stuff there. Okay, when to call us. Call us when you experience an issue, please. That's with anything. That goes for plumbing, electrical. Call us immediately, okay, and we'll let us assess it. We're not going to charge anybody for coming out and taking a look at something at all. So let us assess it. Let us identify the problems. Even if you have Comcast or even if you have Verizon, you can make that call to them. But with Verizon right now, we'd rather you call us first and let us make sure there's not a problem with one of our lines inside the unit. And we do the same thing with Comcast systems. So let us take a look at it. Let us determine where the issue's at. Because if it is that modem that's failing that you have of ours, then everything beyond that is our responsibility to help you out and get everything restarted. So call us when you experience a problem. I have 3 numbers or 3 ways to get a hold of us. 3702 is Dawn. You can call her. She'll manually put in a work order for you. You can also, and Josh told me I could do this, 3792 is their extension into that office. So you can call that office. If they're there, they'll answer the phone. If they're not, which they're probably 80% of the time, they're not in there. They're running around campus. You can leave a message there and they'll get back to you and let you know what's going on. And you can also use Touchtown. You can use that service to put in a work order and we'll make sure it gets to them. Okay. No charge will go ahead. Jim.
Back to that extension number.
Uh-huh.
Well, what you said 10 minutes ago,
Mm-hmm.
if you're using the voice over IP phone system.
Yes.
here,
Yes.
And you punched in 3702, that's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do. You will get
You're
Dawn.
using the extensions.
Yes.
That we heretofore couldn't
Yes.
reach directly with just the
Exactly.
4 digits.
With the 4 digits. Anything extension 3702 and 3792, those extensions, if you're outside of campus, thanks Jim, if you're outside of campus and you don't have our phone system, you dial the 838 number to dial the main desk and dial in that extension. If you are on our in-house system, you just dial one of those extensions and you'll get the person that you're trying to contact. And no charge will be a surprise. That is one thing that will not happen. We will have a discussion or we'll have a conversation with you to let you know that we're moving into areas that could be chargeable. You'll know that well in advance. We're not going to do anything and then have a charge show up on your bill the next month, trying to figure out what happened or why. So, and if it is large enough where it is going to take them a long time, let's say you have a computer set up, you got a new computer and you want it set up, we'll come out, we'll assist you with that. That's a couple-hour job. We may get you to sign off on us to do that work for you to help you get set up. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Next month's topics for next month. What changes and improvements are coming in 2024? I'm going to go over departmentally what I'm looking at and what I'm forecasting to happen next year. Departmentally, with our staffing structure, and also what my capital budget looks like. I'll go over that and see what my requests are for 2024 and the different changes. Also, the Winter Grounds Program. We're starting, we're in September, and we'll be thinking about winter time and that program and how we do our winter treatments and how we take care of the grounds in the winter months. And that'll probably be the last for me for 2023, and then I'll redo my programming for 2024. I am going to try to recruit a couple other departments, as I mentioned earlier, to come in and stand in for me over the next through hopefully October, November, and probably take a little break in December and January. But that'll be the last environmental services meeting for 2023. We do want to hold this day. We want to hold this meeting. So hopefully I can get it, keep it flowing here with other departments. And thank you. Any other questions? Any questions? Yes. In the back. There we go.
Francis, we've had some discussions about open access to the structure. Are we going to revert to the hours we had before the pandemic?
Yes, we are. Right now, currently, we are going to hours, and I'm going to reach out to Corey because I didn't write them down. What hours are we open now? 7 days a week, Corey?
I believe 7 days a week, figure on 8 a.m. through 7 p.m. And Wednesday night, the store's open from 8:30 to community. I believe 3 we have community center.
And then,
Which is a cell entrance, the Wheaton entrance, and Lockwood here. Yes.
yes. So the question was, are we going to, when are we going to go back to open access on our doors, our common entrance doors? We did go from weekend lockdowns and badge only system to 8 a.m. to 7. We are, soon as the Seasons restaurant reestablishes and opens up, we will extend that out to the 9:30 hour. 9:30. We want to make sure that we capture all the hour that the Seasons restaurants is opened up. Okay. Millie, you had a question?
Yeah, now that it was determined that the lawns need lime,
Mm-hmm.
is that gonna get done this year or next year?
Lime.
Yeah, they will be doing, they're adding a little bit of lime here in the fall to their current treatment, and just adding it in their mix.
And we did take, as I talked about in previous meetings, we did pick up extra treatments, and I think that has, from what I can see, has improved quite a bit in the lawns. And we need to do a little bit more with the lime and get it right, get that balance right. But we did pick up a full treatment from True Green. So we should see some improvements definitely going into next year once everything gets worked into the soils. Yes.
You had said something about getting an aeration
Mhm.
machine. Are you still doing
Yep,
that?
we are.
Is that going to be done in the fall?
I can't promise in the fall, but it will definitely be going into next year. We will be able to do it. I'm not sure 100% in the fall.
We didn't hear.
The question is, previous meetings I had mentioned about getting an aeration machine for our turf, and and she asked if we would be doing that in the fall. Can't make a promise on the fall, but into next year's program, we will definitely have that in place. Any other questions? Oh.
Some time ago, I had commented about the mailboxes
Mhm.
at Community Court and Kettering Drive, the sad shape they're in. You said something would be done, but with these recent rains we've had, several of us are getting wet mail.
Still getting wet.
The doors aren't sealed anymore. That whole mailbox is falling apart. What can be done about it?
Once we get the mailboxes, we will be replacing them. So yes, we are replacing. We have to work with the Postal Service, which we are doing, to get the mailboxes. There's a process with them and the keying and everything on those units. So once we get those in place, we will have them replaced. We will replace them. I don't have any dates. I don't have anything like that, but we're working through that process of getting them replaced.
Several of us are getting wet mail.
Yeah.
That's a concern.
Yep, I agree. We were budgeted for that this year to do, and the process unfortunately, it's a long process. No. She said, can't we just buy them from Lowe's? And no, unfortunately. Any other questions? Okay, super. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next month. Thank you. Thank you.